Environmental conservation in Oregon owes a lot to the animal that makes up its well-known nickname, the beaver state. Once hunted to near extinction in the 1800s, groups have helped beaver populations rebound over the years, including here in the Willamette Valley.
Fox 12's Adrian Thomas takes a look at how local projects are bringing beavers back to help restore native habitat in the Portland metro area.
Beavers, of course, are known for building dams along streams, and wildlife officials say this activity can have a major benefit to both animals and humans. Here's trail cam footage from local conservationists of beavers right here in our area. We recently met two local conservation groups to get a closer look at their projects that are helping beavers, which also helps our environment. Running through the rolling hills of Washington County is Fern Creek, a tributary of the Tualatin River. In 2022, this is what the area looked like, mostly surrounded by non-native grass. Fast forward to now, and the area is vastly different, thanks to beaver dams like this one. Mike Conroy is with the Tualatin Soil and Water Conservation District and works with private landowners to help restore native vegetation in the Willamette Valley. A few years ago, Conroy saw this 29-acre area as a place ripe for beavers to return.
We saw it as an opportunity to kind of invite them back in, and then we get all the benefits from the beaver dams, creating all that wildlife habitat in that pond behind us, storing water up on the floodplain, making the water filter through their dams, and then, really interact with the soil before it just, moves on its way out to the Willamette and the Columbia.
So a few years ago, Conroy worked with farm owners where the creek runs through to remove the non-native grass and plant native vegetation. Conroy says much of the native wetlands have been lost in the Willamette Valley over the years because of farmland and other development. But by reintroducing native vegetation seen here, beavers have now moved in and helped restore the natural habitat.
To kind of explain what happens to, kind of the environment right here once this dam is built and it starts to, this kind of floodplain starts to form.
Yeah, so we'll start to see, pockets of different vegetation. So probably some of these shrubs, these are red osier dogwoods. They're actually probably going to get flooded out right here. But you're going to see other vegetation come in, especially along the edges of this.
Conroy says when beavers build dams and create wetlands, it helps improve water quality by filtering water through soil and the vegetation that the beavers break down for their dams. The native plants in the area also bring in pollinators like birds and bees, which in turn helps farms and their crops. A similar site about a decade older than Conroy's project is at Headwaters Farm in Gresham, run by the East Multnomah Soil and Water Conservation District. Because of habitat restoration and beavers, the landscape here has dramatically transformed over 15 years, from a small creek into a massive wetland.
We have a program that we do called Stream Care with private landowners where we remove weeds and plant native trees and shrubs all along the streamside area. And actually the impetus behind that program is to shade the stream, to bring down stream temperatures for salmon. But the side benefit was that these beaver came in and started building dams, and all the stuff we planted, they were like, awesome, this is food and housing for us.
Even if it's just a few dozen acres at a time, conservationists say these kinds of projects benefit us all in the long run.
There are ways that, humans can coexist with animals in urban areas such as this. You can see that there's a housing development over there. I think it's going to be especially important with climate change. Like, look at all this water that is here that wouldn't normally be here. We're raising the water table, we're recharging groundwater.
I'm feeling really good, yeah. That's kind of the part where when the beavers kind of take over the project.
Now, many of these restored wetland habitats will continue to be monitored even after the projects are fully completed, with conservationists keeping an eye out for non-native plants and clearing them out or other habitat threats. In studio, Adrian Thomas, Fox 12 Oregon.